Right. Welcome back to Road Talk.
Yes, sir.
You know, it's your guy, Fresh Best.
Vince.
Today we have a special guest. I want to say founder, I want to say promoter, I want to say the guy who introduced me to Sunde Socials, Mr. Nathaniel Fray-Smith. Introduce yourself, my brother.
What's good, everybody? I'm Nate. Sunde Social, I guess, is pretty much my biggest brand that I have out right now, or that we have out right now. And yeah, I was born in Canada, lived all over, stateside, West Indies, and back in Canada now. Not trying to be here during the winters.
Bro, I feel you.
No one is.
No one, legit.
Right? But overall, I'm just a black man here trying to not just exist and not just survive, but trying to make waves and trying to build as much as I can with others in our community as well.
That's what's up.
Nah, that's perfect, bro. I want to start off by giving you some of my experience, or tell you guys some of my experiences. So last weekend was actually my first time attending the Social Sunday.
Yeah, Sunde Social.
Sunde Social, my bad.
Yeah.
And my guy, I want to start by you did a great job to begin with, because it was my first time attending it.
Yeah.
And you know when you have some set expectations of what you could what you expect to get, right? But you really exceeded my expectation, bro. Like, I went there legit. I went there not knowing what to expect, but I still have an idea of okay, so it's a Sunde Social. So I'm guessing people will be socializing and stuff like that. But the way you had it, the concept of it, you have the first few hours, you do the shows, and you yourself as a host, bro, I feel like you were born to do that. It was legit, bro.
He was legit back and forth. You had everything covered, bro. As I say, the concept, the timing, the slotting of certain transitions into even, introducing people who have businesses, entrepreneurs. You cater to that so well. So, I just want to really commend you on that.
Yeah, thank you. I received that.
So I guess my question is, how exactly did you guys come about inventing or making?
Okay, so it's a mix of a bunch of things coming together at the right time, I guess, right? So grew up in the church. My parents were liberal, and my house was always the house that all the kids were allowed to come over or allowed to party at, because they knew my parents, as much as they were liberal, would still pay attention to their kids and make sure they're safe. Right. But they also knew maybe they didn't want to be that liberal with their kids. So I grew up with that vibe, open door policy in our house, understanding that we wanted to build community and not limit it to only within the church or only within school, but our parents allowed us to foster those relationships that have literally paved the way for my lifestyle now. Okay. And after that, I was always into events. I was working events. I was around it. I was heavily into hospitality. Okay. And then one of my good childhood friends, he also was into doing security at events and promoting events. Okay. And there was one particular event that really, outside of our upbringing, made this possible. It was called Live Thursdays. And before Live Thursdays, it was called Sake and Soul. Okay. It used to be held downtown Toronto on King Street, and I'd go, do serving or bartending, work anywhere from 4 to 16-hour shifts. And then after the shift, especially on a Thursday, I knew where I was going to be. And it became a feeling of kind of like church outside of church. You see a lot of the same people, different people, but people in the same mind state as you. And then live music itself is such a beautiful glue to anything, right? Music, period. I like that. But
feeling it brings,
exactly, the feeling that live music evokes is just different, and it was therapy for me. Especially at those times, I was young coming up, and I'm trying to figure out where my spot is in this world and what I like doing, and that balance between chasing money and making sure that works for you, and then still living out your passions and making sure that works for you. So they had this dope concept. Every Thursday they had a live band in there, the Recipe Band, shout them out, and the vibe was great. I found out from James, the guy who was running it at the time, that they were like slowing down and they're moving to it was just like on long weekend Thursdays that they would do it. Okay. And then it was just big time celebrations like their anniversary, or it had to be like, it became more of an event than just a place to go, because he was kind of slowing down and moving into other things. So my business partner and I at the time we already decided to start a business, and we already decided that we wanted to do events, and we wanted to make events the way we like them. And the reason I say that is because a lot of times, especially at that time in Toronto, when you went to events, it was the same thing. You knew what you were getting. It was the same DJs, was in the same places, because as Black entrepreneurs here, or Black event curators, it's difficult to, it's still the same. It's difficult to find the venues. When you do find the venues, like, all the rules are different. You know what I mean? It's like when my homeboy that I went to high school with, who's a white guy, is doing an event. Okay. And they're like having a mosh pit in there and kicking holes in the wall. They still only have 2-3 security. They're still not questioning him about the kind of event he's doing the same way they're questioning us. Like, it was crazy. I come to your venue every once in a while. There's 3 security here. Now my event's coming here, and you want to put 7 security and then tell us that you're charging us extra for security. Right. Because you assume that the crowd we're going to bring is going to be whatever you don't want. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, I get you.
So what we did, we started off with I know this is a bit long-winded, but
that's good. Keep talking.
We started off with an old school party called Reminisce. Okay. And we did it inside an art gallery downtown Toronto. Okay. And it was dope because, we knew that from our work and from our experiences, we actually saw art galleries. We saw and understood what the spaces looked like and understood what the Toronto scene was like. But we had a lot of friends who had never done that. The only time they came into downtown Toronto was to party. Otherwise, they're in the suburbs or in, the silos that we have as Black folk here. So we were like, let's give them that experience, but with a party vibe. And let's bring out our caliber of people who understand, oh, shoot, this is an art gallery. I'm not going to get too drunk and run into a sculpture that can break that's worth more than my car. Respect. I'm going to have fun, get a little tipsy, dance, have a good time, but still be respectful of the space. So that was our first event, and it blossomed into so many others. But as Live Thursdays was dwindling, we're like, nah, we have to, not only do we have to keep some sort of this spirit alive, we also have to do it on the outskirts, away from downtown, because a lot of our people don't live downtown, and we're tired of always traveling downtown. And that's how it came about, and we wanted it to be different, of course, have our own flair. So we made sure to like really just make it how we lived our lives. Right? So we had our group of friends, even multiple groups of friends, but you understood that you were brothers or that you were family more than just friends. So you understood arguments may happen, fights may happen, but the goal is to continue to build our community. Absolutely. So with Sunde Social, we brought that same concept, where it's like, we want to make sure you still feel that same vibe we felt as youngins coming up, going to Live Thursdays, but do more to build the community, especially around that entrepreneurship side of things. Here, there's lots of Black people here, but we function very separately. And we're taught that we can't work with each other.
Right, we're all in competition.
Exactly.
It's always been that way.
Right, so the competition's stupid. Then the complaints are dumb too. Like we're expected to be the end all be all for the rest of the Black race, right? If I hire your cousin and he's a plumber and he comes to my house and he decides to, binge watch a show on the toilet instead of working, then I want to be upset and be like, yo, this is why I don't hire Black people. It's like, what? No, talk to the man and say, yo,
exactly.
I'm not going to tell you how to do your job, but if I need it done by this time and you're not done by this time and I'm seeing this behavior, that's a problem. It looks unprofessional. It looks irrational. Why am I paying you? That would infuriate anyone. So you need to do better. And if you're not going to do better, then we'll have to cancel this contract and I'll have to find someone else.
Got to come back to communication.
There you go. But we're taught that we're not allowed or not supposed to communicate with our own.
Right. Or
however, let it be, you know, a plumber from a different hue than us. All of a sudden, it's like you expect, oh well, he's probably just taking his break. Right. It'll still be done. Like you just expect that, oh, it's fine. Or you fire them and go to another one who's of the same race and don't. It doesn't
click.
Like, it doesn't click to you that that's what you're supposed to be doing with your own in order to build, right?
Absolutely.
So we wanted to make sure and drive that home that, yo, if you feel like you're a good black person when it comes to business, when it comes to whatever you're doing, then you can't be there at least needs to be another person that's like
that
you.
is just like, exactly
right.
Just
and if in every group of friends that you've known since you were children, there's only 2 or 3 that go and build and make it, then why not just keep connecting with those 2 or 3 from all the other groups that you know of? Right. So that's what we did with Sunde Social.
As I said, you did a great job with that.
I appreciate that.
In touching what you just said, being able to bring people together in a business aspect. So like one of your friends might have a particular skill, you know what I mean? And you're able to know, you're literally, this is how it felt for me. You're at an event having a good time.
Yeah.
And then you pause for a moment to kind of like put, you know, let's be real, black people in perspective for things they're doing on a daily basis in their lives, building. So at the last one you brought on, I see while it was going on, you had someone painting. Art, that was great.
Yeah.
I even tried to buy a painting, you know, like and someone slipped right before me and got it. Hurt my heart, but I just show you. And I never heard of that person before that night, but the fact that I was willing to go and purchase instantaneously to show support is like that event was able to like touch you in a way and say, yo, this is a beautiful thing. Bring people with different, you know, skill sets on stage, presenting it in front of a whole audience. And then not just one person, but many, you know, many people just on stage with so many skills. You're just like, whoa. This is in the middle of an event. You might have just, you know, you probably were dancing to Palance or, you know, and then you just stop. Normally you would be angry. You know what I mean? Then you're having a good time and someone starts the music, it's like, it's like you either get, if you're really like stop talking and want to hear some music. That wasn't the case. That's what I'm trying to tell you guys right now. Sunde Social is something different. It is something different. It's a beautiful thing, and I really think I would really like to see it like continue to blossom.
Bro, and I'm telling you, bro, like from now on you gotta fend. Like I'm gonna talk about it and I'm gonna be attending every Sunde Socials. But one thing I really like the best is it was like, for me, it was like my first time really going to like an event after like the pandemic and stuff. So this was a perfect setup because it's not too much and like it's not like overwhelmed. It's just the environment itself, like the food, the drinks, pretty much everything that black people are attracted to. But we're thinking of it like as a business aspect, like we're here to make business, you know. So like you had drinks, you had food, you had the music, the ambiance, and it was well organized.
Perfect mix.
Legit. I loved it.
Yeah, that's amazing to hear.
So how many, if I can ask, how many of you guys like organized it, or how many partners do you have?
So it's over the years. So we're in October now. We will be celebrating our 6th year anniversary.
Bless. When is that to come?
Yeah.
When is it?
October 30th.
Okay.
All right. The last Sunday of every month.
All right.
Count those on.
Yeah. We're doing a prom theme this year.
A prom theme?
Yeah. Like we like to pick themes that are fun, but also like that touch on things, right?
Yeah, like it brings you back to your favorite moments, and
exactly.
Absolutely.
But then there's also the flip side of it, where there's some people that are like, "Yo, I've never been to
a prom.
I've never been to a prom."
Exactly, right?
Yes.
So it gives you the nostalgia of back in the day when you were in grade school or high school or whatever. But then it also allows you to either a do-over or to do something that you've never done,
exactly.
right?
So, absolutely.
And then on top of that, just seeing black people suited up and gowns, like it's such a beautiful thing to see, man. All the melanin.
Sharp. Yeah.
But so we started out technically there's 4 of us. Me, my business partner, and then 2 others, and they kind of helped with the administration and the music side of things. And then, you know, as we build, people grow. Some musicians left, some came, some other people like came on to volunteer and help out for a few months, a year or so. So it's right now there's 5 of us, and we have like a good kind of thing going. We do bring on some volunteers here and there to help with like the bigger events. But yeah, it's a good vibe. We got a good kind of push going right now. So yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's good. Well, being that you're in line with business right now, I heard you mention that you're a chef.
I don't know if I said I was a chef.
Or culinary. You might have said
Listen. So we got it on tape. We got it on tape.
So I work in hospitality like my whole life.
Hospitality. Okay.
So like, and when I say that, to be fair, like, it's been every aspect of it. From as a kid, simple things like church lunch. I went to Perth Church, SDA Church back in the day, and like every Sabbath was like a potluck.
Wait. Hold on. Every Sabbath?
Yes.
My guy, where you from? I mean, what's your religion?
I was Sunde Adventist.
Oh, bless.
Yeah.
All right.
So
Sunde Adventist?
Nah.
Okay. Bro, respect. All right, cool.
So it was crazy. Like, you learn kind of like the customs of how to, first of all, like the cooking and whatever on that side at home. But then when you come together, everyone goes collectively, grabs tables. So you and your two friends grab a big 6-foot table. You're bringing it out. You set it up, flip it over. You get the chairs. You learn how to set it. You learn how to do all those things. And I guess as a kid, I was just I paid so much attention to that and enjoyed it. Yeah. So literally from then till my first like job at 13, working at Townline Fish and Chips. Okay. It's always been about
13, my guy.
I know. I had no business, but like I looked grown.
I see.
And then when I got a bit older and I worked at Townline Fish and Chips, like the first job that actually paid me, it was in the back doing fries. Okay. And then my next job was like dishwashing. And then my next job was like being a cook. And then I started working for this agency where it was like, you could be doing anything in any given day. So if you have an affinity to anything, that was perfect because you could get to try it. And it was great for me because I'm kind of ADHD, so I can't just sit in the office all like I need to be out moving, doing. Correct. So one shift I'm serving tables. The next shift I'm in the back helping them cook. The next shift I'm flipping doing
whatever they need.
Whatever they needed. Yeah, so I learned every aspect of it. And then as I became an auto, I think like 25-ish, 26, I started working with my uncle and we had a consulting company. So I was like his number 2, and that also expanded my brain as well, and allowed me to see hospitality not just from the front line or from back of house, but now from the business side of things. So yeah, I wouldn't say I'm a chef. I had to play one for a few, months on shift, but yeah.
Okay. Well, at least we know you could handle yourself in the kitchen.
Yeah. A man of all trades, which is the best way to do nowadays. I feel like it's good to know a little bit of everything, or at least a little bit of understanding of everything. But I just want to chime back real quick to the question of how many partners you have, because you know me, I'm always seeking opportunities. So if you need someone to wash dishes, my guy,
tap in.
Tap in. We're here for business. I can't paint, but I can wash dishes like crazy. From a young age, but
So already, guys, you see how dynamic this guy is, and I just want to touch on something I might have heard at Sunde Social. There was a guy who came on stage, and you referred to him as your first. What was it?
my foster son.
Foster son.
Yeah.
Your first foster son. So then I was like, how many things does this guy do?
Right.
So you gotta explain that a bit for us. Let the people in the world know how dynamic you are, my brother.
Shucks.
Speak on that.
Oh wow. So would you want me to talk about that situation or like just the things that I'm doing?
Well, wherever is comfortable with you.
Yeah, let's start with the situation and then we'll
perfect.
We'll go into,
So, I was raised. My parents were foster parents.
Okay.
And they also ran group homes. Like literally my whole life. I think there's only maybe about a year of my life where we didn't either have foster children or run group homes, and that's when we moved to Florida when I was younger. Okay. But outside of that, we've always had foster kids. So when I went away to school, I played football, American football.
Okay.
So I went away, trying to get trying to go pro. I went away to school. I ended up going to Quebec, and things were it was a great learning curve, but it wasn't exactly what I expected. I came back and I was trying to figure out what I want to do, what I enjoy in life. I knew I loved business. I actually wanted to be an entrepreneur because I wanted to retire my parents.
Okay.
Cool.
And then I knew I loved sports and I knew I loved music. So I was like, okay, as I'm trying to navigate that, what do I do with my regular life? Like, what do I do with my day job? And I was like, yo, what else do you love? I love others. I love helping others. I love helping you. I love connecting others. I love helping you build. Like, it's just naturally in me, I guess, from seeing my parents and my grandparents as foster parents, and then like having the knack for helping people. I was like, yo, I realized I actually love this. All my volunteer stuff has been coaching teams, working in group homes, doing the Big Brother stuff. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's always been what it is. And I was going through a transition in my life, and I was like, yo, what's next? What am I called to do? What am I supposed to be doing? And somebody told me about a program, maybe like a year and a half ago. It was like 6 months before this time, that was just starting up, and they would pair up teenage youth with a young adult. You know, someone's like 20 to 30, in between that age,
to kind of like provide some guidance and
So I've been, my parents have worked with children's aid my whole life, so I have like a thorough understanding of how that works and how agencies work and how people get foster kids, and like I had that understanding just from paying attention and asking questions, and then I was hearing about this program. I was like, oh, this is dope. It's like you basically, they set you up in an apartment with this youth, and you're like their living caregiver technically, right? However, the agency still supports you through it. So like, if they're having issues at school or whatever, and you are working, you can't make it, they will go to the school on his behalf, stuff like that, right, or her behalf. So I was like, okay, this is dope. Let's look into it, and it worked out that I was like, everything just aligned.
So that's perfect. So basically, you were basically like this teen's brother, or playing his brother type of thing.
Big brother.
Right? Like,
and they would be staying with you in that apartment for like until the contract is done, or like
so it's like you're like their mentor, live-in mentor.
How long was the contract?
So so there's this thing that happens with children in children's aid. They call it aging out, right? So you've been in the system since you're like 10 or however old, but when you hit those 16, 17, 18, 19, like, you're a teenager. Any teenager lashes out, or you know, wants to find out who they are. So when you're a foster parent, like, you don't necessarily know this child, you know, like you're trying to do the right thing, but I don't know, maybe you have kids and they're not meshing well, or they're giving you too much problems, like, you know. So like, foster parents can't always handle that,
right?
And then what do? Take a kid that's been with somebody for like the last 2-3 years, and then just throw them in someone else's home, and then that someone else may have different rules, whatever, and you're a teenager with all the hormones, exactly. So they kind of found this gap, and we're like, okay, these youth are aging out. How do we help them with that process? Because literally, you know, once you're 18 or 19, 21, if you're still in school, but once you're like 18, you're just like, you're kind of just out, you know what I mean? You got to figure it out, and then you get a job, or you go on Ontario Works, and you're kind of back in the system. So with this program, it allowed us to kind of guide them and show them, like, you're just living, you know what I mean? But you're helping them, yo, this is curfew time, yo, this is groceries. They come with you to do groceries, they get their own grocery card, and they have to learn how to do their own groceries, all that stuff. So he was the first youth I had. I ended up having, I think, 2 in that program, and then 4 more outside of that program. And it was great because it also helped me. It's different, and I haven't birthed my own children, but I've had little siblings. I have little siblings, and then I have the youth that I was mentoring, and it was like, it's different when they're living in your house. You really have someone watching you, like, down there 24/7.
Right.
So, you know, what was that, 26-year-old bachelor with his own space, Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
now this 15 and 16-year-old living with me, looking up to me like, how do I do this? How do I do that?
Comes in. It's like a weight on your shoulder, or pressure in a sense.
Yeah, and it was a good one because it helped me. It helped me do two things. It helped me, one, be as true to myself as I can.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because you start to realize, oh shoot, if I was 16, what did I need when I was 16?
Mm-hmm.
You know, what did I wish the elders told me?
Yeah.
Like the real stuff, not just stay in school and behavior stuff. No, like what are the consequences if I don't stay in school, or what are the perks from building and networking and not just being friends with this person because they're interested in whatever they're interested in, but also realizing that a future comes from this. So pay attention to that, right? Or doing school not for school, but for what you want to be. You want to be a musician, right? You don't necessarily need school for that. However, school allows you so many opportunities that just being out there doesn't, right? You now get to network, you now get to build, you now get to be in a space that's geared just towards that, and you're not stressed about everything outside because now you can focus solely on this.
Right.
Anyways, now look at him. So it was a beautiful thing on both ends.
One pro to that is the age gap in itself. You were saying you were 25 at the time, but you weren't like, a couple years back you were 16 as well.
Right.
So
exactly.
you were able to
pull from that,
kind of connect and understand where he might have been at that point in life, rather than someone who's in their 40s, 50s who done lived that life.
Exactly. And probably can't relate. Or would
so
probably instill some bad habits in
you. Right. So being able to relate in terms of the age gap is also, that's a pro to that whole experience.
I've been in spaces where it's like, oh yeah, you're a black male, you're needed. These youth need to see you, but like we can barely even talk to the youth. Like the conversation has to be so
broadcast.
Not even broadcast, more so like so PG. And it's like, yo, I don't want to hear that stuff at 16, 17. I know I didn't. Tell me the real. Like, tell me what's really going on. Don't tell me the same slogans, say no to drugs that everybody else does. I hear that every day in school. The
parents been telling you,
Yeah, let me hear like what was life really like for you. And they say that I should take applied instead of academic because I'm not doing well in academic, but I want to go to university. Is it that big of a deal? Like those kind of questions that actually will impact their lives. Those are the things that I want to be involved in. So to see that Sunde Social is having that impact, and not on youth but on adults.
On adults,
That's everything to me, man.
Legit. Nah, for sure. And the thing is, I feel like for me, I could relate because a lot of things that you're doing right now, it's things that I wish I would have been able to attend or was able to do it myself.
Right.
And now I found someone who did it and I can actually partake in it. So that's why, like, I feel like it's something that, it's perfect.
And that's a big deal because when you're not exposed to other people doing the things that you
would like to,
you don't believe in it anymore.
Right.
Like, it's so hard to believe in, right? If you're getting knocked down,
it comes like an inspiration, It comes like an inspiration.
Yeah.
Yep.
And it's like, even if you didn't intend to be inspired by it, because you can see someone else doing it, now you can visualize it for yourself.
Absolutely.
And it might not be the same exact thing they're doing, but it may give you, like you said, that inspiration to start something yourself.
Absolutely.
Or to know that you can start something outside the box, right? So that's also a big thing with sometimes people get annoyed, like, oh man, like we're stopping again, or oh man, you're gonna wait till one of us come up, or and it's like, yo, it's necessary because you may be in your silo and you've decided, instead of, like, you quit your nursing job to sell let's say, what do they wear? What is it called? Whatever, the nursing gear that they wear. The certain kind of
garments?
Scrubs.
And scrubs,
okay,
yes. So you went and you designed cool scrubs, and now you're selling it, and you're making enough money to quit your job as a nurse to do that. Imagine if somebody who's been told their whole lives they have to be in the medical field, they have to be a nurse, they have to do this, and they're doing it, but they hate it. They hate it with a passion, but they're doing it because their parents told them that they had to do it. Now that's what makes money, and now they see you. That that twists something in their brain now to be like, oh wait, it's possible. Like, it's possible to find something I love and do it well enough that it now takes over the income that I'm making from this job I hate doing. That's, to me, that's like
mind blowing.
What you just said is actually amazing, because I find in this like generation, you find like the younger you are now is like you tend not to stick to certain jobs, whereas like our parents, grandparents would stay in one job
years, 30 years,
their entire life sometimes.
Yeah.
Because they're not like, I guess it's how they were brought up, and you know, we don't settle for a lot of things. Because we have so many more options now. I think that's a big factor, but it is a good thing because you know could really pursue what you would want to do or like want to live your life doing, rather than just settling. And I think the breakaway from that thinking is more evident in like this generation than the past, for sure. So,
for sure.
So that is a true thing there. It's great. It's great.
But I got a question for you though, because what I've gathered from this is that you're able to see the good in person and willing to invest in them. So that alone, it takes a lot of energy and it's stressful. So how do you deal with like stressful situations, or like just from business aspect, or like just from wanting to help someone? How do you cope with that?
So I think it's a mix of things.
Okay.
One of the things that that is foreign to us as black folk is here, at least here.
Say it. Let's see.
Here is self-care.
Okay.
Right?
Yes.
In the islands, it's not foreign. In the islands, it's kind of built into who you are. In Africa, it's the same thing. At least West Africa and South Africa are the two places I've been, or two regions I've been, and they function a lot like West Indians. Like, you go to work, yes. You do your job, yes. But when you come home, you're not just running into your house to binge watch something, or running to your next job right away. No, like I see you'll see a car pull over on the road. Get out, stop, talk. The person will go inside, grab them a beer. They lime and they and like that interaction is so healthy and so necessary. But here we've forgotten a real
social connection. Like,
we don't understand the importance of the social connection. We don't really
not just social media. It's different.
No, very different.
Yeah,
that human interaction, like person to person. Like we don't see that importance here. We see it as like we see people as acquaintances here.
Yes,
right.
Pretty much. I'm not gonna lie. I'm a victim of that.
And acquaintances. Whereas back home, like you've known this person, even if you don't know them, you were in school with them or their sibling, or their parents were in school with your parents. So the self-care, I realized, was so important to me because I am very much a doer.
Good.
And I'm not. My personality has always been kind of just. Not always, sorry. As I got older, was very calm, very patient, very laid back. So I've run into the situation where it's like, because I'm a doer, I'll go work a factory job, you know, as a teenager, or go do construction, things that I'm not passionate about at all. But I'll work the 16 hours and I will be fine until I'm not.
So you got a good work ethic, basically.
Yes,
for anything.
Fortunately enough, yes. But I'd just be fine, and I'll just be coasting, and it's like, oh, it's not that bad. Then one morning I'll wake up and be like, what the hell am I doing? Like, why am I doing this? And I didn't understand what it was. It was my lack of self-care. It was just, I was just doing, and not taking the time out to just relax, hot tub, massage. And sometimes when I'm getting so busy, to commune with friends and just talk, vibe out, learn from each other, pick each other's brain, have a drink, relax, you know? So I learned with doing so much, I had to take the time out to have self-care. And it looks like many different things at many different times. Sometimes it's being in my office in the basement and closing the door and just meditating. You know what I mean? Other times it's connecting with people like this, right? A lot of times it's getting on a plane and getting out of here because
but look at even what you did at Sunde Social. So who came up with the idea to get people to introduce themselves to people at the event prior to you asking on stage?
So in part of making it like mandating that we have to push entrepreneurship, or not just entrepreneurship, but connecting on the business tip. that was one of the things we came up with because we wanted it, like initially, to be honest, we wanted to have the first hour literally be just networking, like how businesses do it. You know, you have the name tag, you come up, you say, hi, my name is this, kind of like speed dating for businesses. You know what I mean? Like that's what we wanted, because we wanted to make sure that people understood, it's not enough to just know that there are other black people doing business.
Exactly. Yeah.
You have to find out who they are and how they're doing it. Because even if you're not necessarily interested in it, your cousin may be, right? And maybe be looking for someone to help mentor them, because that's another thing we don't have in our black community here is that understanding of the importance of mentorship, right? Some of the guys I went to high school with, like from they were 16, 17, they had a mentor in whatever they wanted to do. They said they wanted to do real estate. They said they wanted to do construction. They said they wanted to be a professional athlete. Their parents made sure and introduced them to these people that'll help show them the way.
That's key.
We don't even fathom what that looks like. You know what I mean? So for us, that was what it was supposed to look like. And then I realized, as much as it works for some people, other people need more
mentorship.
Not just mentorship, more coaxing into wanting to do the networking part of it.
I see.
So instead of leaving it as its own thing in that first hour, plus to be honest, black folk, we ain't on time anyways. What we did was, let's make it a part of the show.
Okay.
And I think at the time, Keisha Favors, shout her out. She was a part of the team. She was really helping us with our admin stuff. Like me, my business partner and I, like when I say we're doers, we're very much doers.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like we'll go and do, and we'll do for 16 hours straight and be okay doing. What we were horrible at is planning out all the admin stuff. Like, you know what I mean? So she really helped us with that and brought us like eons forward. And one of the things she was like, you love supporting black businesses. You love prompting people to meet each other. So let's get black businesses to, let's buy something from them that we can use as prizes.
Right.
And then what we'll do is we'll make a game out of it.
Absolutely.
It's like, like we'd subtly mention it. Hey guys, we thank you for coming out. We just want to make sure, as the music's playing before we get started, go and meet someone, blah, blah, blah. Then we go, okay,
very
anybody
subtle,
in here meet
subtle.
Somebody? Yeah, we get them up. I did the what's your name, where are you from, and what do you do? And it just kind of had a ring to it, so then we kept that. And it was a great way to get someone to like, you're a stranger. Exactly. I don't know you, but I realize I may have an opportunity to win free tickets to a show or go see a concert or do, what's the worst that can happen? Exactly. You know what I mean? And then I think it also turned into people realizing, at the very least, this is another way of marketing.
Correct.
Right? This is a community. This is a brand that's built. Now, if I tell on the mic what I do, 9 times out of 10, somebody is going to hit me up after and be like, I saw you at Sunde Social.
Absolutely.
My cousin needs this. Or I need this. How can we connect? Or I also do this. How can we build? So, that's how that came about.
And it's so good how you brought it in, because anyone who didn't socialize is no kind of prompted to say, you know what, I shouldn't be so to myself. Maybe I'm in an event where it's basically based on socializing.
Exactly.
Why not, loosen up a bit? Because a lot of the time people are not timid, but you're from a place where you're not built to, you're not accustomed to opening up so easily to strangers. But now you're in an environment built on that sole purpose. So it's different now. So I think then even returning to the event, even if you don't open up that time, the following time you return, you feel a bit more
go home, practice, practice your intro, and then come back.
You can now speak to the person next to you calmly, and there's no, there's nothing attached to it. There's no attachment to it. Just opening up and building a network.
And it gives you like the permission to do it.
Exactly.
Sometimes
so that's like a platform in itself.
Exactly. They don't know how to. They don't. It's uncomfortable sometimes.
Right.
You know what I mean?
No, you're right. It's perfect because it's like from seeing someone doing it, then it builds that confidence slowly. You know, you go home, you're like, oh, I like how she did it or he did it. So let me see if I can do that. Practice in front of the mirror. Next time you come in, blow out everyone.
Yeah,
you know?
no, listen, that's funny.
Yeah, bro.
Because I've had people tell me, yo, because of this, I went and practiced because I'm nervous talking on stage.
Absolutely.
But I had to go practice because I need my business to get out there. I just happen to be an introvert.
Yeah.
So yeah, man.
It's building confidence in yourself.
Absolutely.
So that Sunde Social could be even considered a mentor program.
And the long run, who knows?
You know what I mean?
So it's funny that you say that. Like when we've gone over our goals for what we wanted to Sunde Social.
Yeah.
The event is phenomenal and I love it and it's so necessary.
Right.
But for us, it was like it wasn't enough just to do the event. Right. So we started doing marketplaces.
Okay.
We did a workshop, or 1-2 workshops, and we tried our best to implement that. At least, like, unfortunately, this year was crazy, but we want to have at least 2 marketplaces a year, at least 2 to 3 different workshops, even if they're online, because for us, it's not just enough to have the hub for people to come to. How do we now build out those resources in real time?
Right.
And the marketplace was great for that, you know, because it was cool to see, yo, you've been telling me about your business for the last, year and a half.
Right.
Yeah.
And now we're finally able to give a space for you to present it with the tangible items, right? As opposed to just talking or just getting people to visit the website. So
That's
the
true.
goal is to build out that side of it where we can have that network. Okay, I'm trying to I love photography. I did it in high school, a little bit in college, but I stopped because it doesn't pay the bills. But I see you're connected to all these photographers and videographers.
Yeah.
Can you help bridge that gap towards us? Right. The goal is to have that network where it's like, yo, these guys have been doing it for this many years. You want to come in, connect with them, and they'll make the space for you because they know, like, if you're within that Sunde Social vibe of things that you have, like, that's your mind is like, oh, let's grow and build. You're not on foolishness. You know?
Exactly. Yeah. That you want to take it serious. So like,
a lot of people miss that concept because, like, if you look at big companies, look at telecommunications, they contract smaller businesses to do the jobs that they don't want to do, or that they don't have they may not have the manpower, or they don't want to pay benefits. But that's another story. But they will contract another company to do something that they're not currently they might not specialize in at the time, just to get the job done. So we, as smaller groups, black people, you know, entrepreneurs, we don't have to master everything because a lot of the times we try to do everything on our own. You know, overwork ourselves. We only make it so far where we could have just simply, you know, having a network, contacted someone, have the job done. Even if you do simple, if you don't want to give away the full commission, do a referral fee. Something just incorporate something for yourself, but still get someone else to tap in, get the job done, because then that helps promote them. Exposure for you both. Boom, bam, you know. But it's a way of thinking.
And that's the crazy thing, because, like, there's so many, 2 things about that, actually. There's so many different ways to uplift each other, especially in business, right? Like, of course, you have the regular sharing, liking, commenting on social media. But in real life, in real time, I know one of the partners on Sunde Social. He owns his own barbershop and he's a photographer.
Okay.
Our videographer Stan also works in finance, but does videography. Through what I've seen with him, I've seen videography stretch so much more than the videographers I knew before him.
Okay.
Now, they both are connected to Sunde Social. If he has a photo shoot that he can't do, he can call the next one and say, yo, go do this. Right? And it's like, when you have that realization that even though we do the same job, I guess the world wants us to think we have to compete. But that doesn't make sense. Not in this world, not in this. Even if there was another exact same event happening and they wanted to be spiteful and hold it the exact same day as ours, I still believe that their event could be over capacity and our event could be over capacity on the same exact day, because there are so many of us in Toronto, in Ontario, in the Greater Toronto area that we couldn't even house everybody that we wanted to house.
Exactly. Yeah.
So I understood and understand that, like, it's necessary for us to know what each other is doing, not to be busybody and nosy, but to continue to build our community. Because as much as this right now is for us, I am so, like, excited for the day that somebody I met through Sunde Social says, yo, my son is bucking up in this issue. Can you help me with resources so that he can come up?
Yes.
Or my daughter wants to do this, but I know nobody who does this. And I'm scared as a parent, because what my parents taught me was I have to do this or I have to make this amount of money. I don't want to make those mistakes, but I also don't know where to send them and who can help them and who are safe people. And then we're able to say, ooh, contact this person, tell them Nate sent you, or tell them you heard about them through the Sunde Social Network, and now they're mentoring that person's youth. Like, to me, that's what the goal is, because I remember growing up and going to weddings and seeing what, like, West Indian weddings looked like compared to what Nigerian weddings look like. You know, a Jamaican wedding compared to a Ghanaian wedding, and I was just like, and at first, it was my Italian and Portuguese friends that I saw it, and I was like, yo, they do something different. Like, what do you mean? Like, there's envelopes with hundreds of thousands of dollars. Like, how? Like, they just paid 80 grand for this wedding, and it's like, in my mind, how do you even get that money to be able to do this? Plus, you guys have a down payment for your house and what? And I saw it, but I was just like, you know, black people just don't do it like that. And then I started to see my Nigerian and Ghanaian friends, and I was like, what do you mean they're throwing money at the bride and groom? What do you mean there's a lockbox for envelopes that are filled with checks that, we do this. We just don't know that we're supposed to. We don't know. We don't have the same traditions. We lost that a lot of times, depending on which island we were in or raised in, or Correct. So it was just like, I started to ask questions like, yo, why do you guys do this? Like, why do you put so much money into this? And for them, it was so simple. It was like, what do you mean, why do we do this? Like, we have to. How else will our community build? And it was so simple to them. Like, for them,
thinking.
Right. I would be ashamed if I come to this wedding and I don't pour into their kids. Because when my kids are getting married, I expect them to come and pour into my kids. And it should be like that, because if everybody's feeding everybody, then collectively we're growing. Right? These young, well, we don't get married young like that no more anyways, but like, you know, this young couple now is gonna spend all this money to feed all of you and have a party,
then struggle,
and then what? Go back to their apartment? Like, the goal should be, our job as their elders is to gift them their down payment to their house, so that at least the actual marriage can flourish.
Exactly.
And, you know, it's so mind blowing. I always thought that marriage should be more than you just trying to impress the guests, make sure everyone's fed. You know, and then when you're finished, you know, you have to, you know, accumulate those funds again, and then try to, if you haven't gotten a host already, then try to get a host. To me, it was always hustling backwards. So I feel like a wedding, a lot of people put it as the first thing to be done, but to me it's like, you don't have to restart, unless, I don't know everyone's financial situation, I'm just saying from the outset, to me, it was something that I don't think it should be rushed. You know what I mean? Like, prioritize, you know, knock out the important stuff first. You know, it's an understanding on it. I guess it depends on the relationship, the couple, the background, it's so many factors, but to me it was always like, mind blowing.
But I think that's how we should attack life. Right? It of course, you know, the wedding is a big monumentous occasion. But like, what if we did that for graduation? You know, what if when your child graduates high school, we put on an event for them, and the goal of it is for them to now get money for college. You know what I mean? Or
get their graduation gift.
Exactly. Right? If that was our mindset, then
something that helps with the development rather than
then just a little event
moment
or
to shine, you know?
right.
But
that development is important. Sorry, go on.
No, it's interesting what you just said, because just recently, like last year, I had a good friend of mine who got married, right? And for them, the same thing you mentioned, I thought like when you go to a wedding, you're supposed to bring something, right? If it's not a gift, it's like monetary. But then from their culture, apparently it's like, it seems as if like they don't have, like, for someone to give them money, it's like, oh, we don't have the money. Or like, you know, like it's like they created that wedding, or they're having that wedding so they can have money type of thing. So it seemed like it was a disrespectful thing for the culture when if you were to go and give them money or ask that someone gives money, because some people will put it up front and just say like
monetary gift,
monetary gift preferred, or whatever it is.
But it's becoming a norm slowly.
But then again, there were a young generation getting married. Like for us, I feel like it would work best for us to think that community way and then help us grow, because we know how things are getting expensive and whatever. It's interesting. But yeah, I'm all there for the community. I'll get married 6 times. 6 times. But yeah, man. But my guy, listen, really appreciate you coming over on this podcast, man. It was a blast. We enjoyed it, and we got to know you. And to be honest, before closing it off, I just do you have anything else you want to share with us, or just let us know like what's next, what's coming up for you? When's the next event?
What's the next step?
Yes.
So this year was a year of yes for me.
Okay.
I came last year, the end of the year, I was in Ghana, and I was there till February. December to February.
Okay.
Oh, actually, that is something else. We started talking about the things that I do, and then that's when the camera went out. So
okay, please.
I'll step back to that after.
Okay.
But so this year was a year of yes. So I tried to do everything. I tried to, like, I never used to like being called a promoter.
Okay.
I felt like it diminished what
you're building.
I was like, I'm more than a promoter. I'm an event curator.
Right.
I've done every aspect of the event.
So I was hesitant to call you a promoter.
Yeah, no, I'm okay now. I'm okay now.
I know, but I feel like you're in a higher. I see you in a higher light than just promoter. That's
right.
Yeah.
Right. And like growing up, my depiction of what a promoter was always, it wasn't the greatest. I
think that's what it is.
Yeah, you were just outside handing pamphlets out, or you were shady. Like you try to get artists to come out and not pay them, you know. And I was like, but I do a bit more than that, and I didn't want to be confined to just that.
Okay.
But then, you know, as you're doing it for a long time, it's okay that that's people's understanding of what it is you're doing. So it's just like, okay, cool, like.
Or it could just be one aspect of what you do.
Exactly. But yeah, so what I did was I started promoting for other events, like not just throwing up, you know, something like asking them, okay, give me a block of tickets and I'll sell it and pay us a percentage or whatever it is we could do. We did Caravana this year and had, like, we done Caravana once before as the parent company, which is the experience element. And like a lot of the things we did were great, but we were horrible at promotion and marketing. And the event, the vibe was great, but it ate out our pockets. So we were like, you know what, let's stay away. Plus, I'd much rather be in Barbados, Cattlements. I'd much rather be over there than here. However, this year, because we weren't traveling, we were like, yo, let's try. Let's do something big. The whole year we've been trying and been putting on stuff. So we were able to get flipping 2 Bajan artists here.
Show them out. Call the name.
Hyper Sounds.
Hyper.
You know what's crazy? Like, it was crazy that it happened to be Bajan artists. Like, for me, I'm Jamaican and Bajan, but like my Bajan roots, I've damn near almost moved to Barbados. I'm there every year, and especially, like I said, for crop over. So it was just crazy that was what it was. It was a beautiful thing. But anyways, we did that. I acted again this year. I haven't acted in a while. I was in a play, a Cinderella play. It was like a nice.
You're an actor too?
Yeah.
This man,
bro. At the end, you're gonna list down everything you're doing because this is it's good, bro. It's amazing.
Yeah.
And
then I partnered with so many different brands who also do events, and was able to like shift a bit of how we do Sunde Social, but like in different aspects. So we did, I think the first one you came to. I don't know if it was Sunday Social. I think it was it the Sultry Brunch?
St. Clair?
Not St. Clair. College Street?
Was it College?
Yeah. Well, I don't. Well, we did a series this summer of brunches, which was beautiful to step out. But the year of yes allowed me to learn so much, and I'm thankful that I'll be able to bring it into next year. So a big issue we've had has been finances, and not in the sense of like not making money, even though a lot of times it was breaking even over these past 6 years, but just in the sense of being able to pay people what they're worth.
Understood.
So musicians, a lot of time, especially here, they get the short end of the stick. Musicians, singers, artists. So we wanted to be able to pay them more, right? No matter how, like even on our biggest events where we made so much money, it was like we can't even use this as profit. We got to spread this out for the next 2 months because they might not be as heavy, you know. So it's now moving into the grant and sponsorship phase of things where it's like, okay, I know when these guys are doing events, they're sponsored by Hennessy, they're sponsored by whoever they're sponsored by, and it's like, how do we get into that? Because now when we can do that, we can bring on artists and pay them well. We can invest in these artists as opposed to just, you know, giving them gig money. We can now put on showcases and have certain artists headline, and they can actually bring their full band because there's a budget for it. So for next year, that's the goal, to keep finding ways to get injections of finances so that we're able to actually help the artists that touch our stage. We're able to bring better shows. Like, don't get me wrong, our shows are good, the quality is great because there's so much talent here in Toronto. But there's more we can do if we have the finances to either book out spaces for rehearsals or now we can actually do a workshop for all of our singers and bring in, you know, like someone like Navon St. Clair to now bless these guys with a workshop that helps them better their sound, their voice box, whatever, and now they can use that and go get other gigs. And like whatever it is, we want to make sure that it's not bigger and better in the sense of instead of just 100 people, we have 300 people now. No, we love the intimacy of it, but how do we bring more quality to not just the show, but to enrich people's lives?
Well, you set the foundation right now, so even with reference to sponsorship, anyone coming in or any sponsors coming on board could see that you have set a certain standard, a certain foundation, and can see that you know there's equity in investing in what you guys are doing. So I think that you probably done your groundwork. You know, so going forward, I don't think you should have an issue. You know, my blessings. You know, and I really hope you guys, you know, continue to do good things. That's the truth, bro.
And I want to ask one thing. So speaking of sponsorship, so you guys have a website, right? I presume.
No.
Okay.
For
so
Sunde Social, no.
I was gonna say, so if someone's interested in sponsoring you guys, like, do you guys like have a pimp, like what's the contract?
Proposal?
We have the proposal. It needs to be updated. We're looking at that right now.
Okay.
Shout out Keisha again. She's the one who did the initial one.
Sure.
Right.
So we're trying to update that now and make it more relevant to what these sponsors need, because we've had these meetings, we have talked to them, and we have done write-ups, we have done what they needed to get that sponsorship, but it's like one-offs, you know what I mean? So we're building with that, making sure our pitch deck is set, and then we also have a website for the parent company that we're trying to finish building out. And we also need to do a better job of reaching out as well, because there have been people that are, yo, how can we help? What can we do? But because I'm always doing, not just me, like everybody who's involved has their own full-time job and has their own side gig that they already do. So it's like Sunde Social is the third, but that's why it's once a month because we have so many other things happening. So yes, so I also need to do a better job of asking people who I know are good at what they do to help us out, and not just for free, you know, volunteer, but like how do we work together and ensure that we're helping each other out so that it's even, the work is even, you know?
No, that's good. Okay,
that's solid.
That list.
But that question that you wanted to answer. So list down what exactly are some of the things that you do, like some of your talents and like, passions.
So, of course, Sunde Social. And the parent company is the Experience Element.
Okay.
We do everything events. We can help you staff. We can help you curate. We can help you. We'll bring decor. Like, we can not just connect you with that person, but also be involved with that. Bartend, serve, security.
Building a conglomerate. Okay.
Yeah, all of those things we do within that company.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then, speaking of decor, one of the other partners and I have a company called Noir Decor.
Okay.
NWR Decor.
Shout outs.
Yeah, I gotta shout her out. So a lot of my weekends are filled with that. Supporting her in that, dream of hers, the vision of hers, which also stemmed from Sunde Social.
Sweet.
Let's see. I work for a travel company called The Roaming Republic.
Okay.
You mentioned that.
Yeah.
Got to mention that you guys do plan trips.
Yeah.
As a spin-off on top of just attending Sunde Social.
Oh yeah?
These guys actually plan trips. Same concept, being social, connecting.
Right.
But now you're going on a trip.
Yeah, so that's funny. How that started was through the pandemic. Like, you know how they're like kind of opening the summers and then closing back again when it was cold.
Yeah, playing with our emotions.
right. So all of our Sunde Socials they pretty much moved outside. Because outside you could have more people. So for that whole 2020, we were outside, and then when it got too cold, we did a jogging pants edition, so that people could still stay out warm, know. And then October is usually kind of finicky, like with the weather. Like these past 2 days, you can tell it's kind of warm.
So it's nice, but it is cold.
It's cold, right?
I'm wearing a short sleeve, but I got a toucan.
Right, exactly. Yeah. So we were like, yo, what are we gonna do for our anniversary? We have to do something, and we can't rely on whatever the rules may be at this time. So we're like, okay, let's do something away.
Yeah.
Like, okay, what are we gonna do? Well, let's go on Airbnb, and let's just do a cottage getaway. And we won't, of course we can't have 50 to 100 people, but if we can get a solid 20 people in a big enough space so that, COVID measures could still be followed and all that, then we could still have a vibe. Yeah. And that's what we did. And we did the first one, and it was amazing. And then we did the second one, and that one was it was totally different from the first. Man, the first one spoiled us because we had a massive house.
Okay.
Right on the lake.
Yeah.
Had an indoor pool. And on the other side of the house, an indoor hot tub.
Jesus.
12, 13, 14 bedrooms.
Are you going to do a part 2 of that?
Yeah, so we did a part 2 of it.
Already?
Yeah.
Oh, this is part 3 now?
So this is part 3, yeah. So we do it once a year, every year we were considering doing a summer one this year because everyone's like, yo, why don't you guys do another one? Do it in the summer.
Yeah.
We still can't fly, so it'll be perfect. But it was too much to get together.
I get you.
But the last one didn't have no pool.
Okay.
Only had a hot tub, was on the outside, but the venue, the house was beautiful. Right. So we were like, are people still gonna come? Are they gonna want to after they went and saw what was going on with the first one? That one was great again. So then we're like, now we kind of have to keep. We have to now at least once a year.
Okay.
But that's a good concept.
Right.
And it's still pooling resources because, as you said, you were utilizing the fact that you couldn't travel.
Yeah.
And at the same time, people will contribute their fee, right? You have a fee, right? So everyone contribute. If it's $1,000, each person put 100, you know what I mean? So it's not too much on your shoulder.
Yeah, and then what we tried to do
as a person who's organizing it.
Yeah. So what we did as well was we brought the when we were outside for Sunde Social, we brought vendors in because we're not in a venue anymore. So we brought vendors in to sell food and sell drinks. So we use those same vendors now because we made it food inclusive. So we use those same vendors to cook the dinners. And we had the anniversary dinner as well.
I love
right?
This.
So
that's cool.
It was beautiful. But yeah, the Roaming Republic is the real travel. Not that we're not a real travel company. We just happen to to spin off, but the real travel company I work for is called the Roaming Republic. I'm a host with them.
Okay.
And they do trips all over the world, and they try to get black folk together and actually flying. Because I remember growing up and I had friends who the only place they've ever been was back home to Barbados or back home to Jamaica.
Right.
And I was just like, yeah, but you guys don't go anywhere else? Oh yeah, to New York or to the States, visit family, but like you've never been anywhere else. Like even the UK, like no, why would I go there? So she started that company. Shout out Cass, Bella Worldwide. Started that company to bring black folk together and
I love that.
Allow them to take trips. And
that's cool. That's dope.
What happens a lot, I don't know if this has happened to you guys, but you have your group of friends, yo, let's take a trip, and like everyone's like, yeah, let's go.
When time comes to
right, like 3 months out, instead of 10 of you, now there's only 4 of you.
Yeah.
Then it ends up being just 2 of you going on the trip, 2 or 3 of you. It's
accountability, eh?
Right.
I don't understand. It's like, what happened from when you said yes? It's like, I swear to God, the moment someone said yes, you should have just send me the money.
Right.
At least if you cancel, you lose your money, period.
But then they feel bad when they miss the fun, right?
Right.
And then the next time, I'm down. Then you see them.
Yes.
That's what I go.
But life happens, fair enough.
Yeah.
But then with her company, what's dope is like you'll have a lot of solo travelers that come together or 1 or 2 people that know each other and travel together, and she's built a community as well. The Roaming Republic community is amazing because now, like, even for me, almost anywhere I go in the world, I can just throw up, yo guys, I'll be in Singapore next month. Do we know anybody out there?
Yeah.
And they'll be like, yeah, hold on. And then that person, next thing you know, they're contacting me. Hey, I hear you're going to be here a few days. Let me show you around. Let me show you this. Let me show you. And it's crazy because now it changes the landscape for you traveling, right? Because as much as you're still having to pay your own way and do whatever,
you're not a full tourist.
Exactly.
You know how, links.
Exactly. And they know how life works there, so it's easier that transition for you.
Yeah.
So that's an amazing company. We're going to Ghana in December. I'm excited for that.
What dates?
They do December, I believe, 27th to January 3rd.
Okay.
But I'll be there. Good. Yeah, I'll be there like December, hopefully like the 10th.
You down?
I'm down, my guy. I'll send you the money live too.
Let's go. Ghana.
What?
See you.
27th to the 3rd.
Yeah,
it's perfect. New Year in Ghana?
Yeah. And that's literally what it is. New Year in Ghana.
Perfect.
And they need
people.
Not just people, they need guys.
Bro.
Because guys are the worst to and I'm the same way, to be honest. We're the worst. Go. Right.
Let's go.
We're the worst when it comes to getting our stuff together from far away. Right? Most of my guy friends, I know the MO. Guys, save this date. What are we doing? I'll tell you soon. All right, bet. How much is it gonna be? I'll tell you soon. Guys, this is not how much we have to put down. All right, here. Okay, guys, this is what we're gonna do. These are the exact dates. These are the payment times. All right, cool. Boom, boom, boom. That's the only way you can get them to go, and it can only be like 3 months before. If you do it like 6 months or a year ahead, so many things happen in between, and you're like, oh, I forgot. Oh, my bad. I'll get you the money this time. Oh, blah blah. So it's the same with that now. We recruit like we just went to Thailand. And I had like 3 guys who were supposed to be on the trip.
I don't know one person in Thailand.
Man.
One guy in Thailand. I don't know one guy.
Yeah.
That's it.
Right? Yo, but
I need to go. Never been though.
No, it's amazing. It was amazing. Like, even subtle things like they believe so much in cleanliness that even in some restaurants you don't wear your shoes.
Yeah, I heard.
Like, you know what I mean? Like,
remove your shoes before you enter
exactly.
the person's space.
And growing up Jamaican Bajan, like in my house, you come in, you take off your shoes, you walk around.
Same.
Yeah.
Most of my American friends, they're like, what?
Bro, it blows my mind to this day. I see someone in bed with shoes on.
Right,
it just
from
annoys
outside.
Me. You're not making any sense.
Yeah, I think it's the brand that's getting into it and be like, yo, it's Jordans. Jordans are always clean. You know? Because I don't understand the concept. Because bro, you just stepped outside with all this dirt and
listen.
Yeah, no, you're in your bed with them. Nah.
Growing up, you don't even wear the clothes you wore outside in the house.
Exactly. When you come through the door,
clothes,
everything off.
So those kind of things are cool because who would have known that they have that same understanding that us in the West Indies have? Like, you know what I mean? If you're not there, if you're not seeing it, if you're not seeing how things happen.
Exactly.
Plus, massages are under $10 Canadian.
Holy.
You get an hour full body massage for under $10 Canadian. I was like, excuse me?
Rubbing me down.
Right? Like, so that aspect of it is dope. I will give you guys more information about Ghana.
Are you guys planning on doing a Thailand again?
Yeah, oh yeah. That's the one trip that will happen at minimal once a year.
Okay.
Because that's their like homegrown. That trip blossomed their company.
Good.
Right?
Good.
Before that, they didn't really think about doing it as a company. It was just friends going out and making it happen. But her and her business partner at the time, because of Thailand, is what built them up into let's do this seriously. Let's go wherever we can go in the world. Yeah. So yeah, they're doing big things. So yes.
Wow.
Travel company. Then
bro, you really added values on this episode. Like, it's amazing. And I'm glad that we did this, because not only yourself, you have a lot of like things that you do, but I feel like you're onto something. Like Sunde Social.
I know that you told me this,
bro. I pray that you guys become the
bringing people with me.
The main thing. Like it's dope.
I appreciate that. Okay, and then the last few things I do, I sing in a reggae band.
Oh my mom.
Kirk Diamond and the Movement of RIL.
You're singing too.
Yeah.
Give me a tune, one drop.
No, I'm not that kind of singer. I'm the harmony in the background singer. You know?
I get you.
Even though,
okay.
Yeah. So that's beautiful as well, because it allows. I was raised in a music family.
Okay.
My mom sang for Faith Chorale. My uncles had a group called Selections. So it's like I was always at the rehearsals with them. I was always seeing, the work it took for them to get into it, which is also why it's even difficult sometimes for me to say I'm a singer, because I saw the work they put in to learn their instruments, whether it was voice, guitar, drums, keys, whatever. And it's like, I know I haven't put that kind of work in.
You've seen the process, though.
Yes.
But you've been around it so long, it might come to you even quicker.
Which is why I say I am a background singer. Like, I'm comfortable not having the limelight while singing.
Right.
I'm comfortable doing my harmonies. I'm comfortable learning those parts of the songs, because I know the next level it takes to be the soloist, to be, you know what I mean? I'm comfortable writing and doing stuff in the background.
Yeah.
But because I seen the process, it's like I can't even claim that. I would feel disrespectful, you know?
I get you.
And that's being humble. That's being humble right now, because, you know what I mean? A lot of the times, you came up around it. So, we can't knock you for being, adapting into it from such a young age.
Yeah.
So maybe you should claim your spot, but at the same time, just based on what you just said, that's being humble.
Yeah. Try.
Nice. Respect.
And then technically outside of that, I do speaking engagements and workshops.
Okay.
With youth as much as I can, as often as I can. I won't say that I'm a motivational speaker, or I would say I'm a facilitator.
Okay.
More so.
Okay.
And then I am building out a space right now for rehearsal studios. It'll be called Need to Rehearse.
Okay.
We have a lot of plans with that, but I can't speak on all of that yet.
Of course.
But
we'll bring you back.
But yes, sure. Exactly. And then the newest thing that I've done, but kind of took a break on since the world opened back up again, is I created a card game.
Card game?
Yeah, it's called
card game.
Card game. Yeah.
Paper cards.
Okay. Yeah, so like you guys know, like Cards Against Humanity or all those kind of, you know what I mean? So ours is called Say That Then.
Say That Then.
And it's like a play on our culture as West Indians, Africans here in Canada. Like, I think the biggest, maybe people from the GTA and then people from the UK will click with the game immediately, because it's literally about our culture and how we speak and how we say things. It allows you,
like dialects.
Yeah. So you'll see a phrase and you'll read it out, and when you're looking at the phrase, it doesn't make sense, at least together. But as you're saying it, phonetically it'll make sense.
I get you. Okay.
And you'll have the two teams go against each other, and yeah, the team that has that gets the most clearly wins the round. But then there's also like wild cards in there that you can rob the other team's points from that last round.
Perfect game for games night.
Yes, exactly. Good team or family fun games. Yeah, man. So those are the. I'm probably forgetting something, but those are the ones that come to mind right now.
That comes to your mind, okay. And when are you releasing that game?
We'll see. Like we are literally at the point of looking for
producer, like a
printer.
Printing and boxing. That's what we're looking at right now.
You have the design already?
Yeah, the designs are all done. All different formats of the designs are complete. The cards themselves are complete.
I might know a guy, but you'll talk after.
Yeah, we'll talk. Because when we came up with the idea, it was during like in the depths of COVID, where you can only congregate with like 5-10 people. So I would host little games nights here and there. And then it was just like, okay, where are we gonna get this shit from and manufactured? And it was like, China, it has the best prices, but it's at 8 to 16 week wait, and it's just like, what the heck? And then like, you can't go back and forth with somebody when you're waiting 8 weeks for something. You know what I mean? So it's like, okay, we gotta find something local.
So many time jobs.
So like, find something local. Local prices are dumb, or we can find a printer, but not somebody who could do the boxes. So that's the stuff we're working on. But like I said, it's been passive because of the world opening up and events going back on. But that's the next thing I'm excited for.
Okay, that's amazing, man.
Bro, it sounds like you have a lot planned ahead.
Man,
you know, we just barely scratched the surface, it seems. So as you said, we may have to bring it back in the future. But at this time, I think we're gonna wrap it up. You know,
for sure.
It's been a great episode. I hope you guys listen and learned and are willing to come out or take a trip even to come down and visit my guy Nate. Visit Sunde Social. Follow the page. Go ahead at Sunde Social.
SUNDE.
Right.
Social, SOCIA.
Instagram and what other platforms?
Instagram, Facebook.
Okay.
I don't think we have Twitter anymore.
TikTok?
No, we don't have TikTok yet.
You need to get that because TikTok is quick to get people.
Listen, TikTok is great. I personally don't have TikTok because I know
how it can
take so much time away from what I do. But as a businessman, I also understand that it's necessary
in this developing world that
we're
in.
So we're working on that's another part of our development that we need.
Okay.
Social media, like I'm trying to convince like my little bro or my little sis to come through. They're like 22, 24. They're still, they're young enough but old enough to understand it. Cause that part, getting the website done and getting the social medias up to what it should be, that would be blessed.
Okay, that's good.
All right, then. Well, guys, stay tuned for next episode.
Vince,
Fresh Best,
and my man
Nate.
Yes, sir. All right, take it easy.
Yo.